let's move on to the next upcoming session. And this session is on the topic. Wow. The session is the invisible material decisions behind long lasting print. And this comes from a gentleman from every dimension. And I would like to give a small, quick introduction about this man. He believes that what customers see is the final output. What lasts or fails depends on the decision made much earlier. Let us all put our hands together and welcome from every dimension Mr. Vishwas M to unpack the science and strategy behind material selection. Can we all please put our hands together and welcome Mr. Vishwa with a round of applause?
Thank you. And just to correct you, it's not every Denison, it's every Denison. So, good evening, everyone. So, we have had a lot of discussions from morning. Oh, sorry, I think my slide is not here. First slide. It's not. A lot of technical glitch from the morning. Okay. Meanwhile, he sets up the screen. So let me just, I was just wondering, we have been spent a lot of time from the morning and there have been a lot of discussions around happening that there is a need for a industry to change. And यार ये तो सब कुछ रिवील कर दे रहा है मेरा ये स्क्रीन निकाल के भाई तू क्या कर रहा है यार जो I think he's here. So we have been discussing around the print industry. There were discussions around print industries here to stay, and there's a discussion around print industries about to expire, about to extinguish because the digital space is taking over this industry. So my topic is a bit different. I thought of this is a need of an hour, being an industry from where we come as a graphics. I thought of just touching a base on it and then probably I'll go with my presentation. So the way India is evolving today, and if you see the transformation happening across the nation, so it's not that print industry is going to go away. So just to keep you more thing, print industry is here to stay. And it will continue to grow. The reason being the infrastructure is growing. And print industry doesn't just mean you're going to print a digital wall, a digital film. So it is much beyond what you think. So just to give a glimpse from what my understanding goes for this industry is, print is here to stay and digital is just an evolving one and it is going to take over, but it's not that both will grow. And as far as there were a lot of discussions happening around the price, people feel that industry is shrinking, price is the main factor which decides everything. But ladies and gentlemen, that's not the fact. Today, if people are ready to invest in the digital screen, which is probably 1000x of your printing media, that means that there are brands who are ready to spend. The only one thing which is missing around here is you are not differentiating what you are going to offering in the market. So the moment you show a differentiation, I'm ready to pay for it. And as a consumer, as a customer, you yourself, if you're moving out from a particular brand of a phone to a next brand, you are willing to pay only when there is a value. So with that context, I'll probably start off. I'm not here to sell my product, to be very frank, and I will have very less of my products, more of to share my experience around this industry. I've been here for a while. I thought of giving a glimpse of how this industry is operating and what are the things which we talk about in an industry when we go to a brand. Because most of the printers out here or brand managers, they talk about what is in it for me. That is what is going to define you are going to be there or not. And brands like us, we do exist and will continue to exist in the future as well. Being a premium player in the market, do you feel that every is going to exist or my competition is going to exist? Yes, definitely everybody is going to exist because everybody has the pie to eat. Because that's how the India is evolving. And the way India is evolving, boss, everybody is up here to grow. The only thing which we need to bring in a change is add a value to your offering. Until unless you don't make an add and value to your offering, you're not going to sustain here. That's the crux of what it is. So with that, I'll start my presentation. So the invisible material decisions which will define the way the graphic industry is evolving. Even before I get into what My presentation is about, just to give you a brief about what Avery Dennison is. Most of you, I'm sure you would be knowing, few of you would be knowing, few of you would not be knowing. Avery Dennison is basically a materials company, and we are a labels company which is a dominant when it comes to labels. And our journey started with a concept of having an identification to a product. So our journey was giving a identification to a product, which means it doesn't mean that there were no labels prior to Avery Dennison. We had a labels which was basically a product, and then there was an external adhesive which used to be used to make this. So Avery Dennison was the first one to come up with a pressure sensitive adhesive. So that's where Avery Dennison's strength lies. That is adhesive, and that's the key factor which defines your product. So when you walk into an industry and when you see one thing which everybody sees when the failure happens is, boss, आपके ना product में दिक्कत है, आपके film में दिक्कत है. Nobody comes back to you and says कि sir आपके print में दिक्कत है, या तो आपके कलर में दिक्कत है, या तो आपके डिजाइनर में दिक्कत है. What everybody says कि सर आपका मटेरियल फेल हुआ है. Nobody says your design has failed, nobody says your color has failed, nobody says you have failed. What has failed is your material. So that's where this discussion comes, that how important it is to know what material to use and when to use and what to use. So that's what it is all about. So we have two business groups at a glance. If I have to talk about materials group and solutions group. So materials group is all where we give a raw material. If I have to simplify it, it's a lot on a slide, you can probably go through it. And solutions group is something where we give a solution to it. So solution group, we have RFID solutions, we have brand and embellishments. And if you have to give you a practical example of what solution groups does is, if you have ever been to Decathlon, if at the billing counter, you just put in your product and it scans automatically. That's basically a intelligent labels by Avery Dennison. So that's the kind of organization we are, where we think ahead of times, innovating every day and bringing in a new solution to the market. Okay, so the thing which I was talking about, what everybody sees in the market, what does your client see when you give a print to him, is the tip of the iceberg, and the rest is what the failure happens. So when there is a failure, when you go back to a customer and say whatever, you have lost your brand, you have lost your image in front of a customer. So it's quite important to know what to use and when to use. So here we at Avery Dennison spend our 90% of our R&D budget on evolving and reinventing the things every month, every day, and every now and then, because this is a need of an hour. If I am not innovating, I am staying back. So at Avery Dennison, we believe in innovation. We believe in creating something new and coming up with an option which we can offer to industry. And if you talk about our portfolio, it's huge. You come back to me with a problem, I can guarantee you there is a solution for it. And when I say solution, don't assume that we are going to be expensive. It is a value for money, I can guarantee you today, right standing here. Because if there is a perception that Avery Dennison is an expensive brand, that is no more. It's a value-driven brand. And I can assure you, if you have a problem, there is a solution for it. And we are there to support you on that. So next, what is something which is helping your product to fail? When I say helping a product, because that's where you made a wrong call in taking a wrong product, which is failing. That's basically an environment. You have an amazing team out there. You have an amazing machine setup. You have an amazing ink. And you have made an amazing choice of working with a brand. What is something which is failing? It's your product. Why it is failing? Because there were some decisions which you felt, I would try something different. And you have made a wrong choice of selecting a wrong product. I'm not saying that you have done it intentionally. Now you want to use something, and if there is no specifics behind it, I'm not saying that you should use XYZ brand only. I'm talking about selecting a right product. So when you select a right product, things which you should always be looking at is, what are the basic technical parameters at which this product has been evaluated? Does this has a consistency in the market? Has this been validated in the past, for which you are trying to take a risk? Because risking is something which you are probably damaging your brand at your end customers. And when VMs or a marketing manager or a brand manager sees your product and says, boss, this this vendor who has executed this product has not met my expectation, you are out of your space. And that's a mouth of word which spreads in the market. And that's where most of the printers say, ki sir, kaam nahi mil raha hai. Do you believe one thing, that there are printers who charge higher than you, they make much better margins than you, and still they exist and still they capture a higher market? The reason being, they showcase a value. And then they don't dilute on the specification. There was someone who was talking about diluting it was a good topic which they touched on, the dilution of the specification. Few people I've seen across that just for the sake of a small thing, they start diluting the specification, which may not feel a big thing at that point in time, but in a long run, it hurts. Because if you're doing a business, integrity is something which I always feel. Today, if I go and sell to a customer, I never sell on a price. And like I said, I'm here to give you a value. If you tell me, Vishwa, this cost me 10 rupees and this is the value which I get, I vouch for it if it actually is. And even if I'm in a higher price, I would definitely find out a solution for you if it makes sense. If it doesn't, I would probably not. And one thing which you all of us should remember when you are in sales, that every customer is not your customer. Just don't run behind a customer to just grab it, because that's one of the thing which most of us do, that उसके पास ना बहुत बड़ा volume है, उसके साथ काम कर लेते हैं. And how do you get that work? By just cutting down your costs. And that's the most important thing which you should realize, that by cutting the cost, you are actually cutting down the market price. Now, the reason why I'm talking this topic is because all of you come from a business background and come from a printing fraternity. That's the reason I'm trying to give you this flavor. Because if you're trying to degrade the price of the market, that's where you are degrading yourself as well. So just try to ensure that you are there where the price is and try to grab your value. So next slide. Just to give you since it was more of a technical session for me, unfortunately, I come from sales, so I would love to talk more about sales, but I've been forced to talk on this topic. So just to give you a glimpse of what it is to select a right product and how do you choose it. So there is an analogy of pizza duck and pizza dough and a pan batter. So basically, when you use a lower, I would not say lower, economical product, a monomeric product, and how it is different from a polymeric and cast, and why you should know this as well. When you are going for a fleet branding, and there are corrugations which most of the clients come back to me and say that, sir, मैंने film लगाई है, but lift off हो रही है. And I can tell you 60% of the people don't even know why it is happening. So for you to know why it is happening, this is an analogy. So if you see on the right hand, for me it's left hand side. So if you see here, this is basically an economical option which we have as an offering. So this basically has if I go back to a chemistry of this, it is basically kind of your pizza dough. When you stretch it, it gets stretched. When you release it, what happens? It comes back to its original shape. That's what happens when you do a fleet branding. You apply it on a corrugated surface, you stretch and apply it, and when you leave it, it comes back to its original shape. That's where you see a bubble formation. Very important for you to understand the right selection of a product will lead you to a right application that will lead you to a increasing your brand image in the market. So if you see on the other side of a thing, which we call it as a cast film or a polymeric film, the way it is being manufactured itself is different. So it is basically like your pancake batter. The moment you spread it on the pan, it takes the shape of your pan. So that's how this takes the shape of your fleet corrugation, and that's where your film sticks to the corrugation, it stays there. So for you, just for your understanding that how the chemistry works behind it, so I thought of sharing this so that you also know when you go walk into a customer or when the failure happens, you should know why the failure happens, not just that the product has failed. Okay, so this is for you to read. I'll not go through everything, but one thing which is most important thing and which everybody starts their conversation is rate per square feet and end their conversation at rates per square feet. I expect everyone today, when they walk from tomorrow, when they walk into the customer, start talking beyond the square feet rates. Start talking what is the value you're offering to the customer. Start talking about what you bring it on the table. Like everybody today, when I was listening to the panel discussion, everybody was talking about it. And I believe it's not just a talk. When I meet the brand managers, when I meet the corporates out there, everybody is talking about it. And we have seen the results actually happening. That's why I said every customer is not your customer. Who value your brand is someone whom you should be working with, and who doesn't, anyways, they're not going to stay with you. Today or tomorrow, they will move out because the price is the only factor which decides that. So this is what I was talking about. So when you use an economical version and when you use the right product for a right application, this is what is the difference. So most of the times you would probably see that there is the film breaks because of the brittleness. Why it happens, how it happens, nobody has an answer to it per se. The only thing which we do is we go and change the product. But you should be knowing why it happens, how it happens, so that you take care in future and we don't repeat the same mistake. There's nothing wrong in doing mistakes, but learning from the mistake is the most important thing. So this is what is the thing which actually defines why the brittleness happens. So plasticizers are the ones which makes your films flexible. So if you talk about the failure mode, if you see here, the monomeric versions, this one, Here, there is a ghosting or a migration of your plasticizers, because of which this brittleness comes and it breaks. And at every denison, we have a high molecular polymerics, which actually ensures that they migrate within the surface and it stays intact. So this is a chemistry behind how it happens. So one of the most important things from where the every denison was born, it is adhesive. Everything and anything revolves around adhesive. Your customer comes back to you, says that we need to do a fleet branding and I'm going to remove it after a month. And you give a product and you apply it, everything is fine. After a month, your client removes it, it comes along with the paint. What's the next thing he does? He complains, he asks you to get it repainted. You would have earned some X money, you have spent 2X to get it repainted. Now, what you have missed here in the entire scheme of things is your requirement was to be kept for a month and it was supposed to be removed clean. So, what was required here is the removable adhesive, which most of us tend to miss that, because that's not an important criteria, is what we feel. The important criteria is what sees at the front. But the fact is, the tip of the iceberg is not the important factor. The bottom of the iceberg is the important factor. So, it's very important that we choose a right adhesive for a right application. There are applications where there are electrical panels which are powder coated, and you go and apply a same film, and your client calls up and says, "Sir, ये तो निकल रहा है. इसका क्या करें हम लोग?" Boss, it is bound to come out because it is a powder coated surface. It is a low surface energy. So for a low surface energy, what is required is your high tech adhesive. So till the time you define your application, if till the time you don't define your need of a customer, you end up doing a wrong thing at a wrong time, and you end up losing the money, credibility, everything. So that's where at every denison, we probably impart a knowledge about how do we use a right adhesive for a right application. Is bad printer a bad installer or a bad material choice? It's always a bad material choice. He's never a bad installer. He's never a bad printer, because if it was so, he wouldn't have been in this industry for a long. So he has been in this industry, which means that he knows printing better than me. He knows installing better than me. But the only thing which he missed out was on the right product selection. And who would not love to have an insurance policy for their life, for their product, for anything and everything they buy? So we have in place ICS warranty, which we call it as integrated component system. So when I say evidence on ICS system, you can be rest assured that once we have our product in place, your end-to-end is taken care. If I say 3 years warranty, you can be rest assured for 3 years, nothing is going to happen. And when I say it's 3 years warranty, it doesn't mean it's going to stay for 3 years. It's going to stay long. Because when I am guaranteeing you 3 years warranty, which means I am 101% sure nothing is going to happen. Beyond that, the life gets extended to another 2 years. So for 5 years, you are sorted for your branding and application. So most important thing is always use a right product and seek a warranty from the OEM. You may feel it may not be necessary because you are confident about your skill set, your applicators, but you never know when what goes wrong. So always have this thing in place so that if something goes wrong, OEM is standing with you, and if there is something wrong at a customer side, still the OEM is standing with you, and who can walk into the OEM, into your clients and explain them why it has happened so. So I'll just walk you through what we have. I'll not probably talk about, since I said I'm not here to sell, so I would probably stand by my words. I will not sell you anything. So these are the wall murals. These are the texture films. You can probably walk into our booth. We have kept the texture films out there. So these are a couple of wallpapers, texture films, removable adhesive, high-tech adhesive. And we also have a brand called as MacTech. I'm not sure if most of you know it. It says MacTech is a brand which comes with a specialty graphics. So every Denison has taken over this brand, MacTech, and we have a huge range of offering around MacTech as well. So it's basically complementing every Denison brand and ensuring that our portfolio is wide. So that's where I made the statement that when you come to me, I can assure you that there is a value which we will be offering to you, and our portfolio is huge. Wallpaper series. This is something very interesting. Everybody talk about sustainability. Everybody talks about natural products. So this is a product which is made with actual natural materials. If you see the first one, it's the rose petals. Second one is grass, hay. You can probably walk into our booth, you'll see all these products are made with actual raw materials. When I say sustainability, we mean sustainability. So that's what is the product talks about. So this is a PVC flame. Who doesn't like giveaways and bonuses in an industry which we are here today? And I'm sure most of you, when you are here from morning, you are hearing a lot of things, but nobody has given you a giveaway. So I thought of probably compensating it by giving you a giveaway. So we have a unique program which is called as Every Denison Certification Program, and all the gyan which I gave on one side, but I actually want you all to be. Uh, this program is a paid program for our distributors, but we thought of offering you a free program to all our channel partners and customers who can walk where this happens in our Evidence and Knowledge Center, which is in Pune. And we have a plant out there, and we have a R&D center there. So where we impart a knowledge about what to use, how to use, and what should be a selection criteria, and live demonstration of how the application happens, and also what should be the printer settings. Because what happens is, if you see Indian season, it's basically seasonal one. If you see in the rainy seasons, you probably see a moisture content out there. What are the things which you need to take care, and the settings which you need to apply so that you don't get all those failures? So that is something which we are here. So that's the reason I said I'm not here to sell you. We believe as an evidence, and it's our responsibility. When everybody talks about a social corporate responsibility, we talk about a responsibility of being a OEM who should impart a knowledge to everyone out there, which will help everybody to use the right material. Not just every Denison, any material you use, you should be knowing what to use, how to use, when to use. Second thing, you get certified from every Denison that you are being trained on so and so. I think that can be a proud moment for all of you. You can have it in your wall of fame. And what you get back is definitely a practical knowledge from basics to advanced. What to use, how to use, live applications, and direct access to every Denison experts in our Pune plant. When I say experts, it just doesn't mean me. It's my plant out there, production, how the production happens, how the R&D works, how the quality works, what are the parameters you need to be taking care of. So that's all is this all about. And second giveaway to all of you out here, if anybody is here today, so you come back to me with a project or anything you have as a one-time giveaway. I would probably it's my commitment to you. You will have a prize at what you ask for. It's a commitment from my side. I think there would be hardly any brand who would be coming and talking about like this, but this is a commitment from my side. But this is applicable only on the polymeric and cast products. So anybody who has attended this session will definitely have this in place. So every graphics film has a story, and let's make it unforgettable by using a right product in place. And everybody was talking about the storytelling, but that's how the storytelling happens when you use the right product, because your storytelling goes into scrap if your product fails. No matter how good your storytelling is, if it is not delivered, then it is gone for toss. So let's make it an unforgettable experience for your customers and ensure that we are there. Thank you very much. And that's all from my side. I hope I have not bored you guys. And Q&A, I think we can have it at my store, my booth. Thank you very much, guys.
Check. Thank you so much, Mr. Vishwa. Can we please put our hands together for Mr. Vishwa from Avery Denison? Now, upcoming next, we have an interesting panel discussion followed by fireside chat. And post that, we have the felicitation and the networking break, and we can call it a day. Now, for the same, let us all stay back because we have the felicitations upcoming for all the attendees, all the delegates who are present out here. And along with that, we also have some really interesting topics to talk about and to connect over. Now, without any further delay, I would like to call upon our panelists for the panel discussion. And this panel discussion, we are discussing on the topic, if branding brings customers in, visual merchandising converts intent into action. That is design, Signage, and print in retail spaces. This panel discussion focuses on print influence, movement, attention, and purchase decisions inside retail spaces. We would like to now call upon the following panelists. It's my pleasure to welcome Ms. Sunita Giri from Loizo Private Limited. Can we please put our hands together and welcome Ms. Sunita with a round of applause. I would like to also welcome Ms. Shubhika from Smooth Chocolates. Can we please put our hands together and welcome Ms. Shubhika? And last, but definitely not the least, I would like to call upon Mr. Sumant from Macro Media Digital Imaging. Can we please welcome Mr. Sumant as well with a round of applause? Folks, we are almost there, but a little bit of bigger round of applause will be great. So let's show some little bit more energy for our panelists out here. And, of course, our moderator, founder of Print Indiapreneur, Ms. Ambika Yadav. So let's call upon Ms. Ambika as well with a round of applause. Followed by this, we have a fireside chat with two interesting people. Those people are from Amul and Digio. If you want to know who they are, stay tuned because right now we have a very interesting panel discussion upcoming right now.
Guys, let's bring the energy back to the room. We have so good panelists with us. Uh, this won't be a single hand conversation. What we want is interaction with other people as well. Can we have some mics? Excuse me. So I would like to request my panelists to introduce so that everybody is interested and they know which background that you are coming from. And here we are not talking about the VM only, we are talking about the whole technology and ecosystem that Prince Bing. Over to you.
So, hi, my name is Sunita Giri. I am from Ahmedabad, Gujarat, and I am from fashion background. So, after hearing of fashion background, everybody seems like, oh, she's must be very glorious, field or let's say a background. But to be honest, fashion is seems to be very glorious, but it's very hardworking. And when we put efforts to make a product, and on other hand, we showcase it into the physical store or let's say online. It's take really hard and effortly matters of VMs and designers both. So here I am discussing about the VM, how it take a space to not only the stores but your minds also, not only the designer's mind, the customers, and of course the audience what we are targeting. So yeah, that's all from my side.
Hi everyone, I'm Shubhika. I head visual merchandising for Smoor. And as she rightly said, there's a lot of hard work that goes behind the scenes, which people are not aware of. But then at the end of the day, how the product is placed, how the product communicates the story. We've been talking about storytelling. We've been talking about how the product conveys and communicates with the customer. I think that's what brings in life, and that's what how it just connects with every customer that it meets.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hope all of you can hear me, right? Yeah. So,
So I guess we can have energy in the room.
so my name is Sumant. I'm part of Macromedia Digital Imaging. Overall, I've spent more than 30 years. Out of 30 years, 10 years in this industry. I've worked with 3M. In fact, a lot of these products were launched by me. A lot of surface finishes, etc. And all. And one of the things which I liked about this business is someone told me at a very early stage that what you would love with this business is it's a business of colors, finishes, and that has always stuck with me, or that is something which has always inspired me into this business. What Macromedia does, a lot of you know, we started as a large print house. Today, we have expanded horizontally, which is in terms of providing you the VM, digital, static, signages, fixtures, engineered signages, etc., which has been done consciously because a lot of you mentioned that OH Media, which we started, have seen its own journey in terms of plateauing the business. So we are kind of a one-stop solution for any brand or commercial spaces. When you look at all these solutions which enhances your visibility or enhances your customer experiences, right? And thank you for the invite, Omega.
Thank you, sir. Coming to the basics, a question to you. When a customer walks into a store, Sunita, which visual elements genuinely help them decide and which ones simply fill space?
Okay, so yeah. Uh, to be honest, I'm not here to talking about the, as a designer perspective or as a, the industry people perspective. I'm here to talk about the audience perspective. The customers who walk into the store, they don't see the technicality of the, behind the scene. They only see your products, your efforts, and how you are presenting them. So the real what matters to the while you are converting or converging the the customer to the end user, that is the process when we, do the effort. The VM's roles comes in, not only the designers. So the presentation matters, how you creating your story, not just in a window display, while playing with the colors, prints, designs, and the most important thing is alignment. Most of the people forget that somebody is putting efforts to designing something, but they don't give a attention, pay the attention to the VM. They don't aligning something that is, point to the customers that they can walk in, they see products and then buy. The buying, happens outside the store, not inside. So that we need to understand, and that's how VM works in details. Yeah.
Right. Shubhika, my question to you. You come from a very yummy background, smooth chocolates. This is again high involvement categories, and I think it's very print heavy. Not only the VM for the store, but also how packaging is being done, everything. So, how do you think? Yeah. How do in-store visuals simplify complex buying decisions without overwhelming the customer?
Um, so simplifying the visuals in a category that I come from, like say smooth chocolates. Now here what happens is that when you walk into the store, so you see so many things as a customer that your mind is boggled and you just do not understand where to go, which direction to go. You would want to eat everything. But I would also say that when we think about a product launch or when we think about putting it out together for the consumer, we always think about what category it falls into, whether it has to have a marketing which has to be on a scale like a guerrilla marketing, or it has to be very subtle, or it has to have a niche, or it has to have a specific clientele, or it's for a mass audiences. We need to segregate that. Now I would just want to highlight a very interesting product that we came up with a couple of months ago. So kunafa was getting really viral all across, and we came up with the kunafa bark, we came up with kunafa bites, kunafa chocolate. Now tasting became our biggest weapon while introducing kunafa to the market. We had immense counters, immense people coming up wanting to taste the kunafa, and once they tasted, oh my god, the expression they had. Now when we see that, so that's where you know where you are heading to. If they do not have a response to it, that means you're going somewhere wrong. If they have a response to it, that means somewhere down the line you're doing something right. Now how to expand it? Now, so we did a very simple thing. We just took our packaging, which we have worked very hard on, our teams, and we just just commercialized it in a very way that if it's there, if you enter, you see it. So we bought in life-sized kunafa bars that just caught the eye. Now, having said that, on the other hand, we had our sugar-free chocolates, which do not require such a loud audience, but a loud marketing, but it caught the eye of the consumer, because every consumer, the same consumer is buying kunafa and the same consumer is buying a sugar-free chocolate, because they want to be on the best. They want the best of both worlds. They want to be in a situation where they get everything. So now when that worked for sugar-free, we just had a story set up. We just had a nice storyline according to the product, how it is, how we make it. We've recently launched our Indian cocoa, and we are very proud that we're now using cocoa beans which have been, which are growing in India. We're not outsourcing anymore. And we are highlighting our strength, which is core, our Indian products. And to put that across, the best medium was airport. So airport is a place where everybody travels, be it international, domestic, and everybody saw our Indian cocoa story flowing through. We are coming up with more, and it'll be a more emphasized marketing plan. But for the starters, we launched on 26th of January on Republic Day, and it just grabbed eyeballs like anything. So I feel like in a field where I come from, coming back to the question, every product has its own target audience, it has its own niche, it has its own story to tell. And if we put across and use the digital mediums and print mediums accordingly, I guess we nail the marketing, at least in the beginning. And then we can decide upon as per consumer response, because accepting consumer response is something which we all are struggling with. We all have our mindset sets to a certain goal, a certain outcome, but realism and living in the real scenario is something what we need to look at. And that's where equal parts of marketing, equal parts of visual merchandising, product packaging, print media, digital media all come together.
Right. So like VM do everything to get the product sold, right? So again, the perspective of a VM is to get things sold. Suman sir, you basically talk print, right? For printers, getting orders is something that actually crave them, right? But with your perspective, what do you think? From an execution standpoint, what are the most common gaps you see between brand intent on artwork and finally happens at the retail store? That's the pain for the printers.
So what I'm going to talk about is many of the people in the audience can relate to it, right? So your question has three parts to it. The first part is you are talking about design. Now the second part which you are talking about is the way it can be manufactured. There are various ways it can be manufactured. Biswa mentioned about so many materials available, why you should select the right material. And third part is you can manufacture it, but how could you implement it? How could you scale it up? And while doing all these things, there is an overarching theme from the VM, from the customer, from the center of excellence, from the procurement team of brands, saying what we need is, we need this within this time frame. I'm not getting into whether it is realistic or not realistic, at a cost, but I need the best at the lowest of cost. It doesn't work like that. Having said that, yeah, now without compromising the heart and soul of the design, right? Without compromising. So all these things here. That's easier a statement to make, right? That I need something which is at lowest cost, with the shortest time frame, right? Yet you should not compromise. You're no printer or a sign maker or a contractor should compromise that. But yeah, that's what customers demand, right? Now it just takes a lot. It takes a lot. So first thing which I always tell the brands is that that's where I think you need to, from your side, you need to work with the right set of vendors first, right? Now a lot of times I do see that there is always this COE team is there, Center of Excellence team, right? Which comes into play. You have done a vendor does all the right work with the, first level connect in terms of prototyping, working, reworking, has found it right way to make it, scale it up, right? But then there is this person comes in and he says, you know what, we have many choices. So I think those are some of those things which is the real challenge for a community like printer or contractor to remain invested, because I've seen over last 15-20 years that a lot of times people from US and Europe used to come in 3M and they used to talk about designs for wayfinding signage or designs for signages, and we used to say, when is it going to happen in India? Why our Indian designers don't design? Right?
Even you were the part of 3A composites,
Yeah,
so that material
3M, right? Now today I do see that. I do see our Indian design, fraternity like, Foley or Lopez or FRDC or Elephant and all, creating some real wonderful designs. Now you need the two things. What you need, two things you have. One is you need the right set of partners to bring that, whatever he has put on the piece of paper in the real world.
Right.
It is easier said than done.
Right.
But they are not afraid. They are not afraid of, looking at different materials, whatever is available. But then you need a right set of partner to implement it. And third is you need a right set of customers to buy that. Because those two things are easier, But yeah, I guess that is one of the challenges, that you have someone who is a user in the brand, someone who is a decision maker, and someone who is a buyer, right? And then a lot of times that's one challenge. Second challenge is, you need good things to be implemented. You need to give time frame. You need to
Right.
give time to the vendors, because these are all things.
But
while
this is
it
the
is not
daily
complete-
story of retail. We don't have time and we don't have
Yeah,
cost.
so a lot of times, because still this industry is not completely automated industry. You still need a lot of hardcore manpower to do the job, right?
True.
It's not completely automated like an automotive industry where you have a line manufacturing, and you can certainly say. And then, so this is the second part of it. Third part of it is that when you go to the site for implementation, that's another whole different world altogether, right?
Right.
Different places, different rules, local rules and regulations which you need to comply. It's different sets of timings. So yeah, as long as these 2-3 things are clear, I think you can still have great rollout or great campaign complementing the design aspect, or what's as a designer you have envisioned, or what as a VM you have envisioned. You really see that happening in the ground level. Yeah.
Right. Coming to you, Sunita, what makes an execution partner? Because again, we are talking about execution. What makes an execution partner truly understand the retail realities rather than just deliver what's on the artwork? Does it happen because it is some manpower intent game? Does they understand?
Correct. As you know, we are living in India, and India has a vast, culture and zones. Let's talk about cities, T1, T2, T3, right? So we have a very different mindset when we, travel another zones of India. So when it's come to the, presentation, or let's say a VM, so it depends where your brand is, located. It's a T1 city, so you need to think about that only, that the audience is, about to come. The, best part is to understanding their mindset is to learn the lifestyle, how they are adopting the culture, is the trend is really following from this particular zone or not. That's how VM can, implement and understand the whole scenario of audience mindset, and then they can present, and that's how they can, not even do the, presentation only, or the VM window display, but they can actually convert to the, into the end user. And of course, as a designer, I can say the garment is in my hand till the warehouse, but after the warehouse, it's on VM's hand.
Right.
How they are going to present,
Right.
and if they are going to fail, the designer is also going to fail. So it's all about the VM, and it's not about the both of the, different part. It's the same part, same family, but it should be aligned in a
Right.
better way. So that's how we can, commute well.
Right. Coming to you, Shubhika, I think Smoor has 18 outlets in Bangalore, or like 20?
24.
24. Okay. And it has gone out of Bangalore as well? It is like we are just based in Bangalore, or like we have...
We have 24 outlets in Bangalore. We have 8 outlets in Mumbai, 2 in Pune, 1 in Chennai, and 1 in Delhi. And apart from that, we have a lot of cloud kitchens.
Okay. So I guess we are expanding high. So how do like in-store visuals simplify complex buying decisions without overwhelming the customer? Because as a printer, I need the volume. But as a VM, you need to choose the right side or right numbers of creatives. So how do you basically choose?
So I think visual merchandising is way past those pretty displays and just thinking ये अच्छा लग रहा है इसको ऐसे रख देते. It's way past that now. It's what we think in our visual merchandising strategies now is that one size fits all. That concept has all gone now. It is always curated and it is always set for a particular place. Now I have 24 outlets in Bangalore, for example. So if I have to do something, every store is of a different size. Every store will have the quantity of the product arriving in a different number, and just to communicate the same story throughout and have the whole thing, that's where I feel I am blessed that our product packaging is such that, you know, there is, if you keep most of our products, if you keep three pieces together of the same product, you will see the story of the product flowing in it. So the design is distributed in three parts, and when you keep those three parts together, you'll see the story flowing out.
Right.
So that's one. And in a complex manner, so now when we say one size does not fit all, we curate the same thing in different parts. But when we go to our print partners, that's where they face a challenge, because
True.
they need numbers.
Right.
Now, I feel where, I could just add on what you said. So the challenges that you are facing as a visual merchandiser or representing the brand, I think it's always good to communicate with your print partners that this is what is required, and please let me know your challenges, so that, you know, all are on the same page. And because I need in small numbers, but they might need a large quantity,
Right.
so we can sit together and understand what material we need to use, so that it is a win-win for both sides, so that we do not face those challenges ki, "Arey, we need to do this, but this is very expensive, small numbers we can't do." So we need to come up with something, and there are a variety of materials right now, so we need to choose the right material, as we've been speaking since and hearing all the prominent leaders saying since morning. Choosing the right material is the key to have your print partners do the small, big, medium numbers for you, and you get what you want as a curated version, as a visual merchandiser, what we have envisioned.
Right. Sumasa, the question is for you. Do you think like Macromedia has so much of solutions, and coming to the printer also, every printer wants to educate the brand manager or the VM that are coming, because they do not have the technical aspects. They don't know what materials are there, what technologies are there, what machineries are there, and what is the pricing for that. Right now, at the current situation, do you think the printers are educating the VMs, or they are just taking the orders?
Uh, I would say that there are a set of printers who comes with tremendous experience and knowledge, and they do those things regularly as part of their job. And there are certain categories where they are just there with no offense to anyone, like happens in every industry, right?
Right.
Now, similarly, when I look at the customer side, I've come across many of the VMs or marketing guys. They are very keen on understanding things, and they are very keen on knowing the whole detailing before they talk about the rollout, right? That what material are you going to use? Is it meant for exterior, interior, durability? Besides the cost part of it, right? But then again, there are certain set of people where, again, no offense to them, they think that they know everything, and they finally treat a printer like, मैंने artwork दिया बना दो और लगवा दो, right? So it's always it happens in every industry. But having said that, obviously how the technology has evolved, all of you have got empowered. Otherwise, I remember, I'm just taking a little bit away, that my first call was with the Titan Industries when I joined 3M in 2003. And then the customers were so happy that someone has come to help us understand. And I was talking basic vinyl, right? But they were so happy. Those people are all big people now, because they were trying to learn things. In today, somehow with this technology and all, everyone thinks that I'm an expert, right? I'm not I don't claim to be an expert of printing machines, right? Similarly, like that. But having said that, it is. But it is important. It is important that the role of a printer at the end of the day is to educate the customer. Yes. uh, just uh, because this is not their expertise. You know, we in the
Right.
marketing, they're not
Right.
expert at all. So I do believe that as a printer or as a contractor or whichever field you are, as a seller, your job is to educate customer and help him take the right decision or informed decision,
Right.
whether it is
Right.
in your favor or someone else's favor, because that is what helps you build connect with that customer. You become trustworthy, right? And that's where everything starts, irrespective of whichever industry you are in. So it
Right.
is the responsibility lies with the printer, I would say, to educate the customer.
Right. I have an open house question. I'll sir wants to ask question. If somebody can give the mic. Just an open house question to everybody. Do you, the printer specifically, do you educate the brand while like सिर्फ काम नहीं मांगना but education भी देनी? Do you go for that? Anybody? Okay. Can we pass the mic? Yeah.
No, should I answer this or should I ask
You
question?
can ask the question.
This is to Subika from VM. See, currently, if you see the sweet stores or the chocolate stores, Smoor, if you see the sweet packaging, it is slowly converging, or the articulation is equivalent to what chocolate is being done. Even the store interior, the sweet store interiors, it's all converging. Will this be a point of competition to chocolate, or chocolate industry will reinvent itself in a different fashion?
Thank you for your
You
question.
understand my question, right?
Yes, yes.
Now, if you see Anand Sweets, I don't see much of a difference from a Smoor outlet. Practically,
Thank you for
they
your
are
question.
not those old kind of sweet starts or halwai shop.
Thank you for your question. And I totally agree with you. Yes, our sweet industry is emerging and transforming. And do I see them as a competition to the brand that I am representing today? So I do not think that, I always believe that a competition should always remain within your game and you should always learn from the other areas. So I feel I would still consider all the other chocolate brands to be my competitor or aspirational brands. But having said that, as you rightly gave an example of Anand Sweets, I feel they are redefining the buying of Indian sweets in our market. And if you have noticed, we do collaborate with Anand Sweets at the airport and on various, at the Ahmedabad airport arrival as well. And we have actually thought of it not as a competition, but as a collaboration, as industry leaders coming together, promoting both products equally and giving that stage to chocolate in India and giving that stage to Indian sweets back in India, coming together so that they can both be relished by every customer. Now, since we are not only talking about the VM or the product, I would also like to add that our print packaging and the way we use our print medias to communicate the stories of both the products together plays a very crucial role in communicating the product to the customer. That's why Anand Sweets, if you see, their visual merchandising strategy has changed 10 times from the way they had started. And similarly, what we are trying to do here at Smoor is we are trying to communicate the product story across to the consumer, and in which our print packaging is a helping tool. It just helps us communicate better. And for there are two different segments, if I say. Indian sweets or regional sweets are a different segment. Chocolates is a different segment, and our Indian audience is growing past Indian sweets as a gifting idea, and they would love to have things together. So if you see at the airport, anybody who's shopping at Anand Sweets will definitely put a smooth chocolate in their bag. So they want variety. They want some wholesomeness when they are gifting. So gifting has become a very large market in India, and everything that's packaged well, that's giving you a niche vibe, does sell well. And coming back to again to your question, I do not see that as a emerging competition. I see as a partnership. I see it as a collaboration.
Time's up, but the conversation doesn't have to end here. Thanks to our insightful panel for sparking meaningful dialogue. And I see we have Sunita, Shobhika, and Sumansat, a triple S. Let's keep the discussion going. Thank you so much.
I thought Sunita is going to get us those smooth chocolates.
Yes. Actually, while coming to Bangalore, I saw a smooth chocolate packaging. So I was like, this is something indicating like we should have a new partner, gifting partner for us.
Thank you so much, Ambika. Thank you so much, Mr. Suman, Ms. Shubhika, and Ms. Sunita. I request you all to kindly stay back for a group picture on the dais. Let's make some memory. Ladies and gentlemen, having a panel discussion after lunch is quite not easy, and still they managed to hold the crowd because I saw so many of them asking questions and listening so intently, taking notes, and they deserve a big round of applause. Let's give the panel and the moderator a huge round of applause for the same. Thank you so much, Ms. Sunita. Thank you, Ms. Shubhika. Thank you, Mr. Sumant. And thanks, Ambika. Now, the last, but definitely not the least, we have the one last conversation, or let's say presentation or a discussion or a fireside chat. Yes, that's a fireside chat for you all upcoming next, and the last one for the day. So let's keep this most interactive and most engaging, because post this we have the felicitation session. I request you all to kindly stay back for the same, because we want to honor all the attendees, all the delegates who have taken out their time, their energy, and come here and to be part of this Indiapreneur. Now, without any further delay, I would like to tell you all the interesting topic we have for fireside chat. That is how brands manage print, POSM, and packaging. We now move into a candid behind the scenes conversation on print, POSM, and packaging, which are complex ecosystems managed across scale, regions, and partners. Joining us for this fireside chat, we have from Amul, Mr. Ishan Gupta, and from Diageo, Mr. Yadhukrishnan K. Can we please put our hands together and welcome the gentlemen? Little bit more of energy, the last one for the day. Yeah, thank you. This is amazing to see how brands collaborate, and we're all here in one room under the same roof discussing various things. And of course, let's not forget our lovely moderator, Miss Ambika Yadav, the founder of Indiapreneur. Let's welcome her as well with a round of applause.
Thank you, Hema. So this is going to be a fireside chat for the FMCG brands, favorite brands, and whom I have actually associated in past as well, Amul, Diageo. Sabse pehle, Ishan Gupta sir, the question is for you. Amul operates at an unmatched national scale. How do you balance cost efficiency, speed, brand consistency when managing print, POSM, and packaging across such a diverse market?
Well, first, let me introduce myself. So,
Yeah.
I'm Ishan Gupta. I take care as a category manager at Amul. And I work across market visibility, brand promotions, and that's part of the KRA. So, coming to your question, so this is, I would say, not a one-time thing. Like, it's not different things. It's one in the same thing. So, it is a system. So, as you said, consistency. Can you repeat that?
So we have like cost efficiency, speed, and brand consistency. Again, Amul is coming from like so many cities, and we just know about the print, I think, but the specification, games, and everything is coming at behind. So how do you manage that?
Well, what we do is we standardize. We standardize at national level. So most of our work, which is basically related to our artworks and creatives, so which are made on a national level and then are customized for regionally, they are done at a regional level. So on which if you find our Amul has regional visibility in terms of Amul Kannada for Bangalore, Amul Gujarati for Amul Gujarat, Amul Punjabi for Punjab. So like that, for regional POSMs, we have our regional creative agencies, and national is handled by our national agency FCB Ulka. So like that, we ensure consistency plus cost saving plus time saving. And what we do it regionally in terms of print and POSMs is we have our regional vendors or our print partners who take care of our visibility needs in terms of hoardings, boards, retailer visibility, standees, POSMs. So that is how we ensure that our cost, time, as well as
The
efforts are
consistency.
saved.
Right. Next question to you, Yadu sir. From a procurement perspective, how do global brands like Daigeo evaluate print, PSM, and packaging? Partners beyond just price. What really builds long-term trust?
Hi. I think I'll also do an intro. So my name is Yadu Krishnan. I'm part of the procurement team with Diageo India. We are into alcohol beverages, right? So coming to the question, right. So I personally, since I'm from procurement also, I don't like to keep price or cost aside. I evaluate it together, right? So fortunately or unfortunately, but in terms of let's say from a vendor standpoint, what we expect is what is the value that vendor is bringing into the ecosystem, right? So my marketing or let's say procurement team are not technical experts when it comes to substrates, the processes, etc., right? So what we look at is overall what value is that particular service provider or vendor or supplier is bringing onto the table. And of course we have consistently seen cases where who is doing that repeatedly is very actively participating or working with us again and again, right? So it can be any spec modification, it can be any kind of I don't know, any substrate modification. As I said, I'm not a tech person. So but what is that the vendor is bringing onto the table is what is very important. And I think one thing I just want to call out is the reason I said price is I'm sure I'm sure you must have been hearing this from all your customers also, and I'm sure you are also probably seeing this. So the cost pressure is there everywhere, right? There is no industry in the world which doesn't have cost pressure. If it is not there today, I'm sure tomorrow it will come into into your business, right? So it is necessary for every business, even for you to also evaluate how can you do better, how can you do more at the same cost, right? That's what I look at. I generally don't look at reducing cost per unit. Instead I try to look at how can I do more at that, or in fact not me, how can I help my marketing team or my commercial team do more at the same budget that they have, right? Because end of the day all of us are trying to get the attention of the consumer and we want the product to be sold. So that's what maybe two factors that at least we consider in all the evaluations and discussions.
This question is popping in my mind. Like, do printers educate you? Do they do free sampling? Yeah, they do bring samples. Ki, sir, this is something that you should try. Because earlier this was happening. Technologies were being presented, pricing again difference. We are putting categories or like we are asking brands a lot of questions. But coming to this whole ecosystem that we are trying to create, do printers educate you? Because that is again technology for you.
Well, I'll say definitely yes, because our oldest print partners is in the audience and they know it very well. So
Can you
we
please
do
stand
everything.
up? At least we should know. Okay. Yeah.
So we do everything on a scale. So obviously, if we are doing something on a scale, we need some samples, and we do need sample artworks which needs to be approved and some sample works.
That is again tedious trust, not sampling.
Yes. And once the specifications are approved, because see everything purchase goes through a purchase department also in large organizations.
True.
So they do a comparison analysis, sometimes do tender also tenders comparison.
Right.
So it's part of the SOPs and process. and providing knowledge, information,
Education
samples.
is important, I think. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So even though for us, we are like a layman's in terms of printing world, for us, they are the first teachers in terms of material quality, availability, pricing, availability. So yes, coming to this event actually gave a lot of knowledge in terms of how materials, substrates, inks, and pigments, they all work. So yes, the
What
printer
about
vendors
you,
do.
Yata?
Yeah, I mean, yes, of course, and I think in the previous session also someone mentioned, right? Of course, right? So, but not everybody, right? Again, it's not a, let's say, I mean, it's not a negative point, but it's a point for everyone to look at, right? Because in many cases, at least I can confidently say that at least from our standpoint, we are very much within a, a closed cubicle, like kind of a imaginary cubicle where we are looking at many
Multiple
things
things.
and in a silo, right?
True,
So
true.
we will need to, we will need to have a lot of external insights coming in. Let's say what is happening in the industry. I'm sure I'm not updated as let's say as a material substrate guy, right? I'm sure my marketing is also probably not updated. Of course, our KPIs are different, and there are a lot of other focus areas, etc. But I've seen this, many of my learning or majority of my learning happened through my service providers, suppliers, printers, be it like print, visibility, anything for that matter, right? And which actually helps you ask the right question back to them, right? And understand. Okay, so I mean that's how I look at it. Like you ask a question, they will have a response. You'll ask a counter question. So you are also learning. Then you are also pushing them to think more. Eventually, both the entities involved in the discussion or transaction is going to benefit.
Right.
So it happens, but of course not with everyone. It's not their fault, or not anybody's fault. But I think it is necessary for everyone to
Understand.
if they are not doing it, like as a supplier or vendor, if you are not doing it, you should start doing it in smaller segments.
I'll just give you an example. In 2018, when I actually came to this industry, because I came from the agency background, so I was not aware how to push the brands in terms of like telling them this is the technology available. I just posted so many brands a LinkedIn message, ki sir, I have some out of the box samples that I want to show you. Just 15 minutes. And samples के images डाल दिए. Light on off हो गया, 3-layer printing हो गया, direct sunboard हो गया. I think so many people replied actually. And I got so many meetings without a normal cold calling. So I think we should do that. We should educate the brand, at least give them the chance to evaluate. So this is something that every printer should do, and anybody who is thinking to come to the brand and tell ki they are not giving us the pricing, at least educate them, tell them the technologies that you have. Any questions? Any feedback from any printer? Can we pass the mic?
This is to sir from Amul. How do you do standardization? Because today brand manual and everything is digital, and you have a lot of physical material also. How do you do the standardization, and how do you drive the, for example, physical material samples or other things down the line? Your voice is not clear. No.
So he's
See, I'll repeat my question
Yeah,
again.
can you be louder, please, a little?
Yeah. When it comes to standardization, see, Amul has a large footprint. Okay. When it comes to standardization, see, today, let us take, if you are going to send your manual, it is going to be a digital manual, right? But in fact, let us take, if we are going to use Pantone, digital Pantone or a printed Pantone is different. Then how do you, in fact, try and give the physical aspect of branding to your vendors or to your brand managers or to your VMs?
Well, it's a very good question, especially for vendors or print partners who are new in the industry. So every national brand or every like bigger brands, they have called a book called Brand Book. So in that brand book, everything is in the most detailed possible explained, and with specifications it is put. So every brand has brand colors. So like we have brand colors, red and white and somewhat green. So primary and secondary. So like that it flows across all the artwork. So in that brand book, all the artwork, so that brand book is also updated every year. And it has got specification till the color hex code, till the shade, till the like what and the proportions each, what do you call, the each board or artwork needs to be. So if you are working with any big brand, you should always ask for a brand book from them, and they'll be happy to share, because it's mostly meant for our print and visibility partners to abide by that. And that is how you can get to know all the specific details. Even the print substrate material, that is also categorized and defined for each and every print PSOM or board or billboard or branding. So that is the way the consistency is maintained across the brand and the whole nation where the brand is there.
And I think the life of the print also, I think that is mentioned, like how
Yes.
the color fades.
Yes.
These are the basic problems, and like everybody is facing that. Jo blue color was earlier,
Yes.
after 6 months that blue colors has faded.
So we do have a clause also where a percentage of amount is actually kept in kind of a on hold. Like once that warranty period gets over, then it is released. It's a minor percentage, but it's kind of a warranty we take from the vendors.
That's actually required.
Yes, yes. So that is how it works.
Right. Yadu, your question for you. In the categories with strict compliance and brand guidelines, how important are process discipline, documentations, and consistency when selecting and retaining the vendors? Selecting and retaining both.
Cool. I think, I mean, the industry that we are operating in is already a very highly regulated one, right? And in almost every cases, the service provider, supplier, vendor, whomever we work with, right? We also, ensure that that level of, let's say, compliances, process discipline is maintained, right? In several segments, like for example, I'll call out here, we have something called as a SEDEX compliance, so which Diageo globally, accepts as a valid compliance, which primarily ensures that the vendor whom you are working with is his or her operations are as per the rules and regulations, and there is nothing non-compliant. Everything is as per the standards that are defined, right? And likewise, I'm sure Indian companies might be adopting different certifications, compliance. There are a lot available in the market, right? But basically, the objective is to ensure that you are working with the right compliant partner, because end of the day, the partner is someone who is helping you build the brand image, to the wider or bigger consumer base that you are targeting, right? So you also need them to be compliant while they are operating. So one example, as I mentioned, is SEDEX. But
I was
likewise,
actually looking for an example. And
Yeah.
an example for blacklisting also.
No, so I think that there are too many examples. Maybe I can say for blacklisting, but again, so it's see and I just want to go back to the point which Ishan also mentioned. Holding back certain amount. Of course, my assumption or my understanding is that, of course, no organization want to hold back the payments to the vendors, right? The reason why they are doing is basically to ensure the partner whom we are working with is also committed to the deliverable that you are expecting from them, right? So that's how the partnership works. You just want to do one order and then maybe vanish. That can also happen. Or you want to continuously work with us. That's where all this all these factors of innovation. These are very widely used, manipulated terms, but these are actually the reality. That's what everybody is looking for. So compliance is, of course, a very mandatory and basic need of the hour also. Yeah.
This question is out of the book, and for both of you, what I have observed in the industry when I was actually working with brands, there is a fight between a marketing and procurement thing, because marketing ideas are like they have no wings. मतलब अभी मुझे pop-up color चाहिए with even for the like whiskey brand or something is that is coming. They need a pop-up color because they need to get good sales. And again, for a procurement mind, क्या सोच रहे हो कि like come back to the reality, the cost is very high. How do you think of this as a marketing person? And again, then your take.
Well, I think it will always be there, not only
I think there was a war between marketing and procurement.
not only
Yeah.
marketing and purchase, but any department as for the matter with purchase. Because see, for the department, maybe if you take a hotel for example, like the chef, so he would want the best of the ingredients from all across the world, but always they are in a budget constraint. So like for us also, we want the best of the best POSM or POP material, which we call it. But always budgets are defined on a yearly basis. And like how budget was released on first Feb, our budgets also gets released in March.
Sunday.
Yes, and that's how we have to stick to the budget. So, and always we have to consider the volumes which we are working at. So we find a balance between that, not the best of the best materials, because FMCG and Amul being a mass market brand, and we want to ensure because every cost goes into the final product. So we want
So
to.
I went to Amul factory once. I
Okay.
got approval as well.
Yes, yes, we are
हाँ.
can like there's a website.
So Amul का factory का जो signage था, that was being installed by one of my vendor.
Okay, okay, okay.
It was nice.
So for that matter, I would like to tell ki anybody wants to visit Amul factory, they can sign up online. We have a website.
अच्छा, very nice.
So coming to the question, so we always try to find a balance between the most durable and long-term sustainable product, and in terms of pricing. So and we always go for the best value for money product because we provide the most value for money product to our consumers as well. So that's how Amul and the brand side, marketing side works.
Yadu, your
Over to
take?
you.
I think, yeah, I mean, there is, of course, let's say, let me put the fight in quotes, right? It's not a fight. It's a very healthy, this thing. And of course, in different levels, it will happen depending upon the scenario. And I think that's the beauty of it also, I look at it. Because both the departments or functions are working towards the good of the organization as a whole, right? If the procurement is helping marketing utilize their budget in a much effective manner, that is eventually going to go back to them so that they can reinvest or it will go back into the P&L or etc. Right? Similarly, marketing who's trying to push maybe a very high premium, let's say, point of sale display, right, is trying to grab the attraction of the consumer so that they can sell more products, right? So, end of the day, the objective is in
अगर
favor
IPL
of,
में रखेंगे तो ठीक है. Normal
So-
event में रखेंगे तो ठीक नहीं है.
so end of the day, objective is towards the good of the organization. That's how I look at it. And of course, in it's a balance, as he said. You will have to find the sweet spot and go ahead. Otherwise, someone else will be ahead of you. So that's about it.
So after this observation, what I actually find is, मतलब what जो मैंने अपने लिए use किया. So I think every organization has their own thing. मतलब in some organization I might approach the procurement, and in some organization I might approach the marketing. When I am approaching a brand, I'll approach, and this is, I guess, insight for all the printers. Whenever you are approaching any brands, सबको message करो. 5 में से एक reply करेगा. तो I think, because again, you just need to have one leg inside. If your idea is there, it will actually pop up. And after, I think, 2 edition, I am having one procurement person as on the panel. And thank you so much, because again,
Thanks to the organize all of you for inviting.
it was such a pain. Actually, I tried, because again, for VMs to understand, it was easy. Then second step for marketing people to understand the concept of print Indiapreneur was then again easy. Now since I have you on board, now procurement, because everybody thinks that somebody from my industry or my designation went there. Now I can try. So this is something that a small insight to all the printers and everybody. When you are approaching any brand or any business, please try at least go to 5 people in the same company. One person cracked, then the whole thing's opened. Last question for both of you. Being on this platform, what made you come here? मतलब why print Indiapreneur? क्या दिमाग में आया?
Well, basically, the first reason was that you asked, I was asked to come for a panel.
पूछना जरूरी है. You have to ask.
So I thought, yes, it's a value addition for everybody, not just myself. Sharing of knowledge is always good for the industry. So if the customer and the seller both exchange knowledge on common platforms, I think nothing better than that. And again, for me also, it was again gaining knowledge. So even though there are some things which is always evolving in the industry, so new materials are always developing, new technologies are always upcoming. So it's good to get a touch with the industry, and especially an industry like visibility.
True.
We call it visibility and branding. So, and with the help of AI, it is much more evolving. Now, creative development and all is happening through AI. Even though we have not adopted it on that scale, we are just doing it for our Instagram and our online social media portals. But I think that's what the future will come in.
Generated on AI and printed.
Yes, correct,
As
correct.
non-LED.
So that's it. So even though bigger brands are little slow to adopt on this because it is done on a national scale, and once rolled out, it's a very expensive thing. So always bigger brands will never be the first movers in experimentation, but in adoption of newer technologies, if they see that it has been proved by another brands, then definitely if that value addition is there, then definitely we adopt it. And that's the reason I came here.
Thank you so much. Yadu, your take.
No, I think pretty much similar reasons to understand what is happening externally, right? As I said earlier also, I mean, on a daily basis, you are very much working in silo,
True.
right? You are trying to get your things done. You have several other KPIs to deliver, ABC, etc., right? So this is like a non-working day, where you can just go and understand what is happening around you, right? What is maybe, in conversations with Ishan, what is Amul doing, right? Which we can also probably look at, right? So that's the main objective, and also to share, and again, I think I was also asking Priya that is there anybody else from procurement who's here, but also to share that this is what I expect, because I am from a little bit selfish angle, right? If a service provider, a vendor, or a supplier comes with a solution, and if I get a chance to, of course, I will be able to make chances to present it to the business. But if there is initially relevant value visible in that solution, right, we will be able to pitch it to the marketing and trade team, etc., commercial, and we can then eventually go to the next steps. Then I consider it as a win personally for me. It's like a selfish thing, little bit, but still, we are able to bring solutions from outside. You will need to look what is happening outside. It's more like a outside in perspective.
Right,
You will need to
right.
develop. So that's the reason.
And I
why.
think you both and you all are the chosen ones, because I was talking to Sahana also. Sahana said that I am not easily visible on LinkedIn. But what we do is, when we are finding the speakers, we search different hashtags, then filter it, and then we actually approach it. And this is again an honor for all of us and all the printers, like you people are here, so that we understand your perspective also, because we all are working in silos, and having people inside the same room, that has actually created some impact. And thank you so much by this. We are ending this fireside chat. Thank you, everybody. This is the last session for the day, and we can start for the felicitation. And can we have the group photo?
Thank you, everyone.
Check. Though it was a last session, they kept it very interesting and they ensured that you all were engrossed in the conversation as well. So let's give some credit for that. Let's hear another big round of applause for our moderator and our fireside chat participants. So thank you so much, Mr. Yadhukrishnan. Thank you so much, Mr. Ishan Gupta. Without any further delay, now let us get started with the felicitation session. So first of all, for all the members who attended today's India Print Indiapreneur, I would like to thank each and everyone because you have been here from the start until the end. I see a lot of faces that I have seen since this morning, and I think you all deserve a big, big, big round of applause because this shows your passion, this shows your dedication, and this shows how much you're involved in the subject. And I think you all deserve a much bigger round of applause. So can we please hear a big round of applause for each and every one of you out here? So thank you so much, all the ladies. Thank you so much, gentlemen. I request the founder of Print Indiapreneur, Ms. Ambika Yadav, to do the honor by felicitating our respective delegates and participants. All right, in the meanwhile, I just have a quick couple of questions for all the attendees today out here. How many of you got a chance to visit our partner stalls? Can I see a raise of hands? How many of you got a chance to visit them? How many of you got a chance to interact with them? Yeah? How many of you got a chance to interact with the other attendees out here? Did you get a chance to interact with others? Yes? I only see Mr. Sumant raising his hand out here. What about the others? Okay, I see a couple of hands here. I see Miss Sahana's hand also up there. And how many of you think this session today at Print Indiapreneur has given you a lot of key takeaways? It could be not only learnings, but some your very own ideas. Probably any one of the points shared by one of the presenters. It could have triggered another thought in your head that would be much helpful for you in your business. How many of you think this had some use for you all in your business? Can I see a raise of hands for that? This is the best part then. Can we please have a round of applause? Because at the end of the day, we are all here to grow as one industry to ensure we all come together under one umbrella. And last but definitely not the least question, how many of you think there are chances that you all might collab with each other since you all also interacted? You think there's a possibility for a collaboration and a great future out there? Yeah? Superb. So thank you everyone. I hope you all had a wonderful day. Now it's time for felicitation. I request Ms. Ambika Yadav to kindly join us on the dais and do the honors. I would like to thank our sponsors. So, the title sponsor, Aero Digital Private Limited, our silver partner, Vishwanath Enterprises, White.co.in, exhibitor partner, Avery Dennison, SST, Starflex, networking partner, Bubble Cards, LED partner, Oro Opto Electronics India Private Limited, banking partner, IDFC Bank. I would like to request all the representatives from the title sponsor and the various other partners to kindly join us on the dais. And I also like to request Mr. Sanjay to please join us. Now, I request Ms. Sahana Palimar to kindly join us on the dais. So thank you so much, Ms. Palimar, for joining us today. And she kept the session pretty interactive after lunch, so let's give her some credit for that. And let's hear a round of applause for the lovely lady. Thank you, Ms. Sahana, for joining us today here at Print Indiapreneur. So I request you to kindly stay back on the dais. Yes. Thank you, Ms. Sahana, for joining us today. I request Ms. Ambika Yadav to felicitate Mr. Sanjay Visdru. Can we please put our hands together for Mr. Sanjay, everyone? Thank you, Mr. Sanjay, for keeping your session crisp, informative, interactive, and impactful. That was an amazing one. Thank you so much. I now request our silver partner, yt.co.in. Can we please have the entire YT team join us on the dais? Do we have the YT team here? If yes, we would like to have you on the dais. I see Mr. Manish out there. नहीं है वहाँ पे. All right. Nevertheless, let's move on. Looks like the team is a little busy with the photographs. Now I request Miss Shubika to please join us. Can we please put our hands together and welcome Miss Shubika from Smore? Thank you, Miss Shubika. Love the way you articulated your sentences. From SST, I request Deepak Gupta ji to kindly come. And the team, of course. Our exhibitor partner, can we please have the SST and team? Mr. Deepak Gupta and team. Thank you for being our exhibitor partner. Folks, let's all have one last group picture because we are all here since morning until now. So I request you all to kindly stay back for one big happy group picture marking the Bangalore edition of Print Indiapreneur. I now request Avery Dennison team to kindly join us. Do we have the Avery Dennison team? Mr. Vishwa, who was one of our speakers earlier today. Oh yeah, here he comes. I request the team to join us. Please, the Avery Dennison team. Avery Dennison team. Thank you, Avery Dennison team. It was wonderful to have watch this machine do the operation work for people who do not get a lot of exposure. So, please stay back. We're just looking for your individual one. Let's hear it out for the gentleman. Thank you so much, Mr. Vishwa, for your wonderful presentation and for being one of our exhibitor partners. And I would like to call upon our other silver partner, Vishwanath Enterprises. Can we please have the team for Vishwanath Enterprises? I also request the Mimaki team to kindly join us. Vishwanath Enterprises and Mimaki team. All right, thank you so much, Vishwanath Enterprises, for bringing this up all the way to the first floor. This was really nice of you to do this. Thank you so much. I now request Mr. Bikash Sharma from Pagaria Foods Product Private Limited to kindly join us. Thank you so much, Mr. Bikash, for joining us today, for being an active listener since morning. Thank you. A gentle reminder, I request you all to kindly stay back for the group picture, post which we have high tea, a networking high tea with no time limitations this time. So the evening is all yours, the time is all yours. And now request the Aura Opto Electronics Private Limited team to kindly join us. That's our LED partner. Do we have the Aura Opto team? I request Thank you, team, for being our LED partner. Truly appreciated. I request Mr. Ali to kindly stay back for a second. Thank you, Mr. Yusuf Ali, for kickstarting today's Print Indiapreneur Bangalore edition with a bang. Thank you so much for that wonderful session of yours. All right. Now I would like to call upon the Diageo India Senior Manager, Mr. Yadhukrishnan K. Do we have Mr. Yadhukrishnan? Thank you for your contribution in the fireside chat, Mr. Yadhukrishnan. Though it was the last one for the day, you definitely managed to keep our audience hooked. Thank you. I would like to call upon Ms. Sunita Giri from Lawyers of Private Limited. I think Ms. Sunita was one of the first people who turned up today. So that's really appreciated. Thank you so much, Ms. Sunita, for being here from the start until end and also being part of our panel discussion. Print Indiapreneur truly appreciates it. Thank you so much. I now request our banking partner, IDFC First Bank. I request the entire team of IDFC to kindly join us on the dais. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for being our banking partner. Once again, a humble request. I request you all to kindly stay back for the group picture. It just takes a couple more minutes. And I promise that. I request the YT team to kindly join us. So thank you so much, Team YT, for being our silver partner. Thank you, Mr. Manish, for moderating our session. Not moderating, for your wonderful presentation. And thank you, Ms. Taneja, for Ms. Ritika, for doing the honor of being our moderator today for the first panel discussion of the day. And we have the entire team staying from the start until end, and kudos to that. So thank you so much for sticking around and being our silver partner. Thank you, Mr. Manish. I also request Mr. Ishan Gupta from Amul to kindly join us on the dais. All the attendees, ladies, gentlemen, I request you all to kindly stay back. We are waiting for a big group photo, so we would love to have as many people as possible here on the dais for that group picture. Thank you, Mr. Gupta, for staying back for the fireside chat and keeping our audience hooked. Thank you. All right, I request everyone to kindly join us for the group photo. All the members, all the partners, everyone seated here. Come on, everyone. I want to see everybody hop on the dais. I request everyone to kindly join us. All the ladies and gentlemen, all the participants, all the delegates, all the attendees, all the moderators, all the panelists, all the exhibitors who who are present in the room today. It's a memory for the Bangalore edition, so let's make this as big as possible with the maximum smiles for the picture. I request everybody to kindly come. It just takes a minute, and I promise not longer than that. So I want everybody hopping onto the dais. Can we have everybody join on the dais, please? Can we have everyone? I request everybody to kindly hop in. Let's have the maximum number of people for the Bangalore edition, showing that yes, Bangalore Center is the best. All right, I request you all to kindly feel free to also occupy and probably take seats in the front. So, because we have a lot more people out here, so you're more than welcome to take seats out here. Let's ensure the camera, everybody comes in one big frame. The ones who are slightly a little taller, I request you all to please oblige and step a little behind so that we will have everybody covered for the picture. We just want to make this as one happy memory for the Bangalore edition for Print Indiapreneur. Alright, so let's have one formal photo and one informal one, yeah? How does that sound? Good? Superb. Alright, now on the Print Indiapreneur has been doing rounds all across the country, and let's show them what Bangalore is. Are we all ready, folks? Bangalore folks? No, I can't hear you. Are you all ready, Bangalore? All right, now when I say 3, 2, 1, let's all make some noise and throw our hands up in the air. Can we all do that together? No? Yes? Superb. Now, on the count of 3, 3, 2, 1. All right, now 3, 2, 1. Make some noise, Bangalore! All right, thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. This is MC Hema signing off for the day. I hope you all have a lovely Saturday night ahead and a great Sunday to look forward to. Thank you, everybody. I hope you all have great achievements in your respective businesses, and may your business achieve new heights. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful year ahead.